Welcome into Ray Fisher Stadium for Game 1 of a 3-game series between Michigan and Minnesota. Now, yesterday's game was rained out and subsequently postponed. So today we have a doubleheader on our hands. This is the first of the doubleheader. First game here, first pitch will approximately happen at noon. My name is Owen Klein. I'm joined alongside Jake Handler. Jake, we did the Western Michigan game last Tuesday. It was a standalone game. And Michigan looked great throughout that ball game, but at the top of the ninth inning, things just fell apart for the Wolverines. Western put 6 on the board and ended up winning that game 10-9. Now, since then, Jake, Michigan beat Wisconsin-Milwaukee at home, also a standalone game, 3-1. So if you're looking at Michigan's last 8 games, they're still doing pretty well. They're 6 of their last 8. Now they welcome in a Minnesota team that stands at 13-14, 2-4 in the conference. They're not nearly as hot as Michigan is, but they did win their last game on Tuesday, 11-3. How big of a win would this be for Michigan?
This would be a huge win. Michigan right now is second place in the Big Ten, so winning a conference weekend series against Minnesota is huge for their chances of making the postseason. But really, most importantly, they got to get rid of that stench from the Western Michigan game.
Absolutely.
I know you and I were on it.
Absolutely.
We don't want to rag on it too much, obviously, but a brutal loss for the Wolverines. They had a nice bounce back against Wisconsin-Milwaukee, but of course, that's Wisconsin-Milwaukee. You're expected to win that game. This is going to be a tester, but again, the Wolverines should win this game, and I expect them to win this game, although it'll be a battle.
It will certainly be a battle, Jake. On the mound for Michigan this afternoon, one of their better pitchers, Kurt Barr. He's in stats for Kurt, 3.51 ERA in 12 appearances, 41 innings pitched, so a great sample size there. Last appearance was 8 days ago during the Iowa series. Barr went 4 innings and 1 out, gave 4 hits, only 1 earned run, so Barr has been pitching well lately. Also shut out Maryland in 2 innings the game before that. On the mound for the Golden Gophers, Will Sem, the righty junior, sitting at 7.93 ERA. 1-2 record on the season, 36 innings pitched. So both these pitchers, Jake, coming in with experience throughout this season, and that is not something we saw against Western Michigan. Western had the approach of multiple short inning pitchers that went in spurts. I believe they threw 8 pitchers or something insane like that. So a different approach here pitching-wise for Minnesota today.
And again, with this Minnesota pitching staff, Will Semb is not that good, a 7.9 ERA, very hittable for the Wolverines, and Michigan is throwing out one of their best pitchers, Kurt Barr, as you said, 3.5 ERA. So less than half the ERA of the Minnesota guy. I like this. I really like this matchup for the Wolverines, and I think this is where the advantage kicks in for Michigan today.
Absolutely. We're going to run through these lineups real quick. Remember, Minnesota will hit first. They are the team on the road. Starting at second baseman, the leadoff hitter is Brady Council, whose brother Jack is on Michigan. So a little sibling rivalry here between Michigan and Minnesota. Batting second for the Golden Gophers, third baseman Jake Perry, the junior. Batting third, the catcher Weber Niels, the Golden Gophers' best hitter at .327 average, the sophomore. Batting fourth is Ike Mazenga, the designated hitter, batting .277, the junior. Batting fifth is the center fielder Josh Fitzgerald, the junior, hitting .328 in his 22nd game of the season for the Golden Gophers. Batting sixth is the right fielder Chris Hawkinson, followed by the first baseman Kyle Bork, the left fielder Brady Dragella, and batting the 9 hole is the shortstop Jack Spanier, the freshman. For Michigan, similar lineup as we've seen recently. Leading off will be A.J. Garcia, the freshman center fielder that averages up to .320 on the season. Batting second, Mitch Voigt, who will be in right field today. The sophomore hitting .326 has been the star of the show for the Wolverines, both with the bat and on the mound. Batting third, Stephen Rustich, the grad transfer senior, hitting .293 on the season, the left fielder. Batting fourth, designated hitter Colin Priest, the freshman, is hitting .279 in 30 games played this season. Batting fifth is the first baseman Dylan Stanton, one of the more experienced Wolverines on this team. The senior is hitting .270 this year in 25 games. Batting sixth, third baseman Cole Caruso, made some defensive gems in the game we called on Tuesday. Caruso is hitting .246 this season, the junior. Batting seventh is the catcher Will Rogers, followed by the second baseman Mac Timbrook. And batting ninth is the shortstop Kyle Dernetti. We are almost underway here, Ray Fisher Stadium. 11:59 a.m. is what it says on my computer. First pitch is scheduled for 12 noon. coaches are meeting at home plate with our umpires today. We will run through those. Behind the plate is Eric Lovelace calling balls and strikes. Michael Wiseman at first base. Michael Schultz at third base. Now, coaches for Michigan and Minnesota, drastically different stories in each dugout. We'll start with Minnesota. They are coached by the legendary John Anderson, who has been the Golden Gophers coach since 1981. He is in his 43rd season as the man up front. He's got 1,365 wins under his belt as Minnesota's head coach. It's the most in school history and the second most among active D1 coaches. The 614 Big Ten wins are the most in conference history, to go along with 11 regular season Big Ten titles, 10 Big Ten tournament titles, an 8-time Big Ten Coach of the Year winner. So an experienced head coach for the Golden Gophers. For Michigan, it's a different story. Tracy Smith is in his second season. He's got a young, developing, but rowdy group of kids who, as we have turned this halfway point of the baseball season, are looking to make a major push. And a lot of it comes here, Jake, in Big Ten play.
For sure. And as much as the Wolverines want to do good in these weekday kind of odd series against teams like Milwaukee or Western, the only games that matter at this point of the season are Big Ten games. So really that's just to perfect your craft, to get some momentum going into the weekend, where then you play some key games like today, twice against Minnesota, and tomorrow. And it's huge. But really, I think the X factor for the Wolverines here, the hitting is going to be there. They need to shut Minnesota down. You can't be letting up several 5-6+ runs a game and expect to win these games, although college is a little higher scoring than the MLB.
Yep.
You really want to prevent the runs on the defensive side of the ball. And I think Michigan's in good shape to do that today, despite the recent struggles. I do.
Wolverines only give up 3 runs against...
1 run.
3 runs, I believe, in their last game.
No, they won 3-1 against Milwaukee. They let up 1 run.
Correct. Let up 1 run. So defensively, Michigan was great that game. Now we'll see if they can turn it on offensively. As Michigan is rolling out their defenders, first pitch will be underway shortly. Weather this afternoon. It's currently 54 and sunny, looking to get around the mid to high 50s throughout both of these games. Remember, this is the first of a doubleheader here between Michigan and Minnesota, both kind of trying to find their way in this Big Ten conference. Minnesota, again, 13 and 14 overall, 2 and 4 in conference play. Michigan stands at 15 and 19 overall, 7 and 5 in conference play. As Kurt Barr will take the mound for the Wolverines. Attended Liggett High School out in Grosse Pointe, which is interesting because 2 of the senior members of our club, WCBN-Sports, Kellen Flynn, former executive director, and William Gregory, former co-executive director, are both Liggett grads. Wow. So I'm sure they interacted with Kurt quite a bit in their days roaming that Liggett hallway.
And a very interesting tidbit for Kirk, 12 games appeared in this year, only his 3rd game starting. So very interesting. Well, that's something to watch. How far can Kurt Barr pitch into this game? Because, as we said, he's more of a bullpen guy.
Absolutely. So Barr will be starting on the mound for the Wolverines. He will face Brady Council, Jake Perry and Weber Niels to begin this ball game. Brady Council's brother, Jack Council, is on the Wolverines. So again, an inter-sibling rivalry here at Ray Fisher. Lovely to have you all with us here on WCBN Sports, providing coverage of Michigan baseball as we are set and ready to get underway between the first of a doubleheader between Michigan and Minnesota. Kurt Barr on the mound for the Wolverines will face the junior second baseman Brady Council out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to lead off this ballgame. Council digs in. The righty stands tall. Here we go. From Ray Fisher, Kurt Barr in the windup. First pitch. Just outside for a ball.
And as you said earlier, Minnesota's legendary coach John Anderson, his final season. So one of his last games against the Michigan Wolverines.
The 1-0 to Council is in for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Brady Council, 282 on the year, has started every game for this Golden Gophers squad. Here comes the 1-1. That one catches the outside corner as Barr gets up 1-2. Infield playing straight up. The 1-2 from Barr is swung on and popped up to right field. Second baseman will call him off. That is Matt Timbrook making the play. So 1 up, 1 down for Kurt Barr as Council flies out to second.
That's exactly how you want to start this game. Just get an easy out for your first. Settle in. And just throw your stuff. It's a ball low.
First pitch to Jake Perry is low for a ball. Infield shifted a bit towards first base against the lefty Jake Perry. The 1-0 is in for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Perry, the junior, hitting .296 on the season. The 1-1 from Barr is swung on and fouled back. Count moves to 1-2. Perry, a native of Hopkins, Minnesota, the junior third baseman, went 1 of 4 in Minnesota's last game, a win against North Dakota State. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing does not go around, just a bit outside. Count evens at 2-2. Again, infield shifted a bit towards the first base line. Caruso playing right in between the second and third bases. Shortstop Dernetti is right behind second. Here comes the 2-2. That one is swung on in line, foul down the first base line. Good contact there from Perry.
Little confusion with the count here. It is 2-2.
So 2-2 count, 1 down, top of the first, 0-0 ball game. Here comes the 2-2. That one is swung on and grounded to second. Tim Brook, routine play, makes the out. So 2 up, 2 down for Kurt Barr. Good start for Michigan and this defense. As the third hitter, Weber Niels will step in for the Golden Gophers. .327 average, has played in all 27 games, has started 26. The sophomore catcher is on a tear this season for Minnesota. First pitch from the windup is low and away for a ball. Niels in Minnesota's last game went 3 of 3, had an RBI and drew 2 walks. So this guy knows how to get on. The 1-0 off speed is in for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Now Niels, as a freshman, a true freshman last season, started 39 of 49 games for Minnesota, hit a stellar .274. Here comes the 1-1. That one is swung on and grounded foul right into the Michigan dugout. I mean, we talk about how young of a team Michigan is, Jake, and Weber Niels, a sophomore, a guy who started many games as a freshman, is just the kind of player you want in your program. Young, experienced at this point. The 2-2 is swung on and grounded to short. Dernetti picks it up, fires it over to Stanton, who makes the play. So 1-2-3, first inning for Michigan.
And Weber Niels and Mitch Voigt are kind of the same player. They're stud sophomores for their teams. Mitch Voigt batting .326. We're going to see him batting second in the bottom half of this inning coming up right now. Weber Niels in the 3-hole for Minnesota. They're both studs, and both these programs, they're worried. They don't want him getting drafted after next season. They want him staying all 4 or 5 years. But we'll see what happens. Both of them look to be pretty good prospects. And again, starting pitcher for the Minnesota Gophers, Will Sem Jr., pushing an 8 ERA. So not their number one starter for sure. He's averaging about 4.5 innings an appearance and letting up about a 2 whip, which is two people who reach base in innings. So that's huge. Michigan should expect to capitalize on this in the first several innings of the game.
Michigan had an easy coasting 1-2-3 top of the first. Kurt Barr on the mound for Michigan as we enter the bottom of the second inning. For the Wolverines, it'll be A.J. Garcia, the freshman center fielder, who has really turned it on as of late. Mitch Voigt, like you mentioned, Jake, will bat in the 2 spot. And Steven Rustich will bat in the 3 hole for Michigan. 320 average, 326, and 293 respectively for those 1, 2, and 3 hitters.
For sure. And I think despite maybe Will Sem isn't their best starter, the Gophers pitching staff, second fewest runs in the entire league. So I think that's even more of a reason that you got to capitalize on maybe the weaker starting pitcher, because then when you reach the bullpen, runs might not come as easy.
Against Sem, a junior, the right-hander is started and appeared in 8 games this season, 31 innings pitched, 44 hits, 19 walks. Has struck out 44 batters, though. So that is something that Sem does do well. More than 1 strikeout per inning. As A.J. Garcia will get things started offensively for Michigan, the freshman center fielder, who's really turned it on as of late. His first career hit was less than a month ago against San Diego on March 16th, and his first career start was 6 days later against Penn State, March 22nd. The first pitch to Garcia is low and away for a ball. Garcia has started every game since his initial start against Penn State. Again, the freshman from Chicago, center fielder. Hitting .320 so far this season. The 1-0 from Sem is inside for a ball, so Garcia quickly up 2-0.
It was very close to clipping him.
Big gap between the second baseman Council and the shortstop Spanier as we have a pause initiated by home plate umpire Eric Lovelace as the umpires will come in and chat. Not sure what this is about.
I don't know.
They are meeting on the third base side of the pitcher's mound.
The only thing, I mean, the batter's not reacting. The only thing I can imagine is did that pitch
might have hit him,
clip his jersey?
And I think
like
they're going to replay to see this. So you did mention, Jake, that it might have almost hit Garcia.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a check on that now.
I don't think it did, though, because if you're a batter and you get hit, you're reacting. I mean, even if you don't get hit and it's by a razor-thin margin, you want to sell to get the walk. So I don't really understand this pause.
Will Sem, Golden Gophers starting pitcher, will take the opportunity to get some more warm-up pitches in. Currently a 2-0 count on A.J. Garcia, bottom of the first, in the first of 2 games this Saturday afternoon between Michigan and Minnesota. Overall, a 3-game series. We just got started in this one. Minnesota went 1-2-3 as Kurt Barr was rolling in the first inning. So Michigan up to bat bottom first. A.J. Garcia, leadoff hitter, is up. The count is 2-0.
And honestly, it might be tough to pitch today because of the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously because of the stadium and everything. You're a little bit more insulated on the pitching mound, but wow, that did hit him. Wow.
So the ruling is that it hit A.J. Garcia, so he'll take first base. Michigan early base runner.
Yeah, it must be true if they went to review it,
Yeah.
but I think the reason that they didn't call it is because the batter didn't react at all. And so I said, looks like that might have grazed him a little. Batter didn't react, so they're not going to call it if it's questionable and there's no reaction. So, you know, I guess credit to A.J. Garcia for not wanting the hand-me-out, but sometimes you just got to take the hand-me-out.
So Sem from the stretch checks Garcia at first. Garcia slides back safely. Credit also to Eric Lovelace, our umpire behind the plate, because I did not notice. I mean, I thought it was very close, but I didn't think that it hit Garcia. But Lovelace with a good eye there, initiating the stop, going to replay and confirming that it did hit Garcia.
What I think it was is I think it was a sleeve or a part of the jersey that wasn't really connected to him.
Maybe that elbow guard.
It grazed. Yeah, that's why.
Yep. Second pitch is high to Voigt, so count moves to 2-0. Here comes it from the stretch. That one is swung on and fouled back. So A.J. Garcia on first for Michigan. Will Sem, the starter for Minnesota, will work from the stretch now with a runner aboard. Mitch Voigt, the sophomore star for Michigan, is in the batter's box. Wide stance. Here comes the pitch. That one is high for a ball. Count should be 3-1. The scoreboard is taking a while to update.
Mitch Voigt, an impressive two-way player. He's a pitcher as well for the Wolverines here.
The pitch from the stretch is swung on and fouled, so 2 strikes now on Voigt. 2-2 count. For Michigan here in the bottom of the first inning, Mitch Voigt. Garcia, moderate lead from first. Infield play straight up for Minnesota. Garcia's checked, and he slides back safely. A.J. Garcia on the season, 6 attempts at a stolen base, has succeeded 3 times, so 50% success rate for A.J. Garcia. Mitch Voigt, a dangerous hitter up, so we'll see if Michigan calls a hit and run. And Garcia's checked once again at first. That is Sem's 3rd time looking over to him this at-bat. Here comes the pitch. That one is swung on and belted. That thing is crushed to left field. And you can kiss that thing goodbye. No chance, no doubt about it for Mitch Voigt. 2-run shot here in the bottom of the first. That thing was crushed, Jake.
And who else but the two-way star for the Wolverines, Mitch Voigt. He's the best bet to hit home run, and the man does it again.
Absolutely crushed from Mitch Voigt. That thing was high, but you can tell. Easily cleared the brick wall out and left. Again, that's 312 to left field, well beyond left. So Michigan out to a commanding 2-0 start. Steven Rustich fouls his first pitch back.
You know, and that's very key because the first inning is the worst inning for Michigan. They're getting outscored by 13 runs this season. So nice to flip the script and take an early lead.
The 0-1 to Rustich is inside for a ball. Count evens at 1-1. I was almost in disbelief when that ball was in the air as it came off the bat from Mitch Voigt. I thought the reaction from the crowd wasn't loud enough. I was like, is this thing going foul? But it wasn't, and that thing got absolutely crushed. That might have been the hardest hit ball I've seen here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Maybe we got to ask the analytics guy next to us how far that went.
We'll certainly do that after the inning or after the game. In the meantime, the 2-1 to Steven Rustich is swung on and fouled. It hit Rustich. Try to walk that one off. Looked like a stinger to the foot. So 2-2 count. Michigan leads 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. The 2-2 to Rustich. One is in for a strike. Got him looking. As Will Sem gets his first out of the inning as Rustich goes down on strike. So 1 out, no on for Michigan.
Honestly, I think right there, Rustich, whatever pitch was going to be thrown there, he's taken. Because he looked a little shaken up by the foul ball off the shin. Mm-hmm. So he just wanted to get back to the dugout. I don't think he was ready to swing the bat there.
So Colin Priest, the 4-hitter, will step in for Michigan. First pitch to Priest is a bit low and away for a strike, so 1-0 count. Priest, a freshman, has been pretty good for Michigan this season, hitting .279, 30 games played, 18 of which those are starts. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Hefty cut there from Priest. Count evens at 1-1. Priest made his debut in the opening game of the season against Western Michigan. This is a guy that the Michigan coaching staff is extremely excited about for the future, only a freshman. Here comes the 1-1. One is high and away for a ball. So count moves to 2-1. Priest, a native of Mount Dora, Florida. Attended Mount Dora Christian High School. Sem from the stretch, the 2-1 is in for a strike. Off-speed count the inside corner.
It's a great pitch right there.
Absolutely. So count evens at 2-2 for Collins Priests. Sem looking to make it 2 straight outs for Minnesota. The 2-2 swung on and missed. So Priest goes down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Will Sem. 2 down all of a sudden for Michigan following the Mitch Voigt 2-run home run. As Dylan Stanton will step in with 2 outs, nobody on. The 5th hitting first baseman. Slashing .270 this season. Sem from the stretch. First pitch is away for a ball. Sem is working from the stretch despite the fact that nobody is on base. And he is towing the third base side of the rubber. Here comes the 1-0. That one is swung on and fouled back towards the parking lot. Watch your cars. It seems like we say that every broadcast.
Exactly.
A softball looks like they're getting underway across the way over at Carroll Hutchins Stadium. Love this complex here at the University of Michigan.
Oh, yeah. That was supposed to be me yesterday.
Oh, yeah? The rain said no as
Yeah.
Stanton takes a ball outside. Yeah, rain got in the way of some baseball and softball yesterday, but good weather today, making up these games. The 2-1 to Dylan Stanton is swung on and skied. First base side of the infield. Coming over is Bork to make the play in foul territory. And
He almost messed that up there. A last-second kind of contortion of the glove to make that catch. But no complaints here.
no complaints.
No
Good play there
complaints.
from Bork in foul territory. Sun was perhaps in his eye. As Minnesota gets the 3rd out of the inning, but not before Mitch Voigt homers to score him and A.J. Garcia as Michigan takes a 2-0 lead heading in to the top of the 2nd inning.
And it's a good bounce back for Will Sem, letting up the first 2 batters on base. Garcia getting hit, Voigt with the home run. And then 1, 2, 3, well, 3, 4, 5 to get in the inning there. But I'm really excited to see Kurt Barr throw his stuff in the top of the 2nd.
So Barr will go right back to work for the Wolverines.
And what's really key about a player like Barr, who you got to assume wants to establish himself as a starter instead of a bullpen arm, which he has somewhat, but the key here is to go longer into the game. You want to eat up 5, 6 innings, as opposed to some of these other these other starters who are only pitching 2, 3, 4 innings.
So top of the 2nd, we'll get underway here as the lefty Ike Mazenga will step in for the Golden Gophers, the designated hitter. .277 average on the season. For the junior designated hitter Ike Mazenga from Shoreview, Minnesota to Mounds View High School. Stands 6'1", weighs in at 195 pounds, does the lefty. Barr toes the rubber, who will work from the windup. First pitch to Mazenga is in for a strike. Good start for Kurt Barr. It's 0-1.
And Mazenga's their power guy for Minnesota. Most home runs on the team here.
Second pitch is in for a strike, so Mazenga quickly down 0-2.
Yeah.
Again, Mazenga Jr. This is his 2nd season with Minnesota. He started 50 of 52 games last season. As the 0-2 is just outside for a ball, count moves to 1-2. Mazenga spent the 2021 and 2022 season at North Iowa Area Community College, then came over to Minnesota, and he's been solid producer for the Gophers. The 1-2 is belted down the first base line, gets past Dylan Stanton for a single. So Minnesota has their first base runner of the game. It looks like Stanton could have made that play, but that was a shot off the bat of Ike Mazenga and kind of got under the glove of Dylan Stanton.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough ground ball to get, but I don't think that's going to be an error, but you could argue that it was. He should have made that play.
I don't think it touched the glove, but it seemed like it caught Stanton by surprise.
Went right under it.
Yep. So Josh Fitzgerald will step in for Minnesota with one aboard, takes a first pitch outside. So count is 1-0. Josh Fitzgerald, the fifth hitter for Minnesota, the junior center fielder, hitting .328 on the season. Second pitch is fouled back. Fitzgerald has really got a heartwarming story. This is his first season with Minnesota. He's a redshirt junior. For 2020 and 2021, he played with Kirkwood Community College. He was first team all-region after hitting .358 for a Kirkwood team that reached the Division II World Series, as the 1-1 is swing and a miss. In 2022, Fitzgerald went over to Dallas Baptist, where he only played 3 games, and he tore his ACL in early 2023. Took all of summer 2023 to rehab, and now he is back with Minnesota. Good to see the comeback there from Josh Fitzgerald. The 1-2 is swung on a miss. So Kurt Barr with a big strikeout there.
Exactly. We want to see that more than the comeback here. Big strikeout with runners with a runner on base, no outs. Setting up for the double play here. Infield shifted to the right.
So Chris Hawkinson will step in for Michigan. For Minnesota, rather. Takes the first pitch up the middle, but it's caught on a line by the shortstop and double play over to Dylan Stanton. Kyle Dernetti was in the perfect spot for that line drive. Went right into his glove and fired it over to Stanton at first. Mazenga was a little too far off the bag, and Michigan gets a double play. No runs through 2 innings. Michigan's defense and Kurt Barr on the mound is rolling.
And he hit it directly into that shift. Without a shift, that's a hit. It's straight towards second base. Line drive. Michigan put the shift on. Catches the hard liner and then tosses it to first to double the runner up. Spectacular.
So Michigan retains their 2-0 lead. 1 base runner that inning for Minnesota. They left 1 on. As Michigan ends the inning with a stellar, flashy double play. It'll be Cole Caruso, Will Rogers, and Mac Timbrook, 6, 7, 8 for Michigan as we enter the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, we enter the bottom of the second inning here. Michigan up 2-0, looking to stretch their lead even more. Need a nice advantage, as we learned here earlier in the week. But I like it here. Not harder than Michigan order coming up. End of the Michigan order coming up. We got Cole Caruso batting .246 here. 1 home run on the year. So I think this is really key, because if these guys can get on base and start a little rally, then you got the top of the order coming up.
Absolutely. Caruso takes the first pitch low and away for a ball. That's precisely the case, Jake. I mean, you look at the production at the top of the order for Michigan. A guy like A.J. Garcia, a guy like Mitch Voigt. If you get these bottom of the lineup runners on, big opportunity for Michigan to extend this lead as Caruso takes the ball low, so count is 2-0. Michigan with a good start, but it's about maintaining that lead, not making mistakes. As the 2-0 is also a ball, so count is 3-0 for Cole Caruso. Caruso's first season as a Wolverine. Played his previous 2 at South Carolina Upstate.
No way he swings here, right?
I wouldn't think so. When he does not, he takes a strike. So 3-1 count for Cole Caruso. Very rare in all levels of the game to swing at 3-0, and Caruso follows that logic right there. So 3-1 count, 7 from the stretch. Here comes the 3-1. It was in for a strike, so count is full. Got to swing the bat eventually. Caruso has taken 5 straight pitches, 3-2 count for the junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. The 3-2. Inside for a ball. Good at bat for Caruso. Didn't have to swing the bat once as he draws a base on balls.
No, and to be honest, I don't think he had the green light to swing there because he's not one of the – he's having a decent season, but he's not one of the premier guys in the lineup. So very smart decision. Will Sem's control a little off to start the game, so take your free base.
So Will Rogers, the catcher, will step in for Michigan. First pitch is away for a ball. Rogers starting his 21st game of the season. This is his 29th overall appearance. Not the season at the plate he wanted, hitting 200, but still a lot of season left for Rogers. The 1-0 is low for a ball, as Will Sem seeming to have some trouble finding the strike zone.
Yeah, and at this point, if you're Will Rogers, if you're a batter for Michigan, I'm sitting on something middle, and make him throw to me.
The 2-0 to Rogers is outside for a ball, so count moves to 3-0. I mean, you said it, Jake, at the beginning of this inning. If Michigan is able to get on base in the bottom part of the order, and then you go up to the top of the order with multiple people on and not that many outs, it could spell danger for Minnesota. The 3-0 misses. So 2 straight walks. That is 5 straight balls for Will Sem on the mound, and Michigan now has 2 aboard with no out.
And at this point, if you're a batter, there's 2 paths for Will Sem. He's either going to continue to throw these balls, or he's going to panic because he can't throw strikes and throw something middle, where at that point, if you're the batter, you got to capitalize. So either way, it's a very good situation for Michigan. 2 on, no outs. Looking to extend the lead past 2.
So we will have a mound meeting here from Minnesota. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Michigan. 2 runners on base, no outs. As Mitch Voigt in the bottom of the first took a ball on a flight to left field that I think is the hardest hit ball I have ever seen at this stadium.
And you got Timbrook here up to bat. He was a very solid hitter, I think. Probably statistically he's better than the 2 batters who just got walked before him.
Timbrook at 279 on the season.
More power as well. And Sem is rattled. A couple people jeering him in the crowd.
So Timbrook, the lefty, will stand in. Scores up to bunt, pulls it back for a ball. So 1-0 count. Third baseman Perry slowly creeping in.
I don't know if I like that call there. With Sem's control issues, I would just take.
So 1-0 to Matt Timbrook. Sem from the stretch. Scores up to bunt, lays it down the third base line. Nice bunt there. Timbrook hustling over the first, and he is safe. Matt Timbrook moves the runners. Bases are now loaded for Michigan. Beautiful piece of bunting.
That was a beautiful bunt.
Beautiful
bunt. Bases loaded, no outs.
Just a dribbler down the third base line. The third baseman, Jake Perry, came in nicely on that ball, but Timbrook just able to beat the throw out. So now bases loaded, no outs for Kyle Dernetti, the 9-hitter.
So here's the question. I know the intention's to always get a hit, get on base, but when Coach Smith called that, you think the intent was to advance the runners? Or
I would say so.
Yeah.
Advance the runners.
So pretty great bunt there for Michigan. Very fortunate.
And Timbrook gets on as well. So still no out for Michigan. Bases loaded as Kyle Dernetti steps in. Dernetti has homered only once this season. He's got 10 extra base hits total, though. The 1-0 is swung on and skied to center field. Under it is Fitzgerald, who makes the play. Tagging from third is Caruso, who will score. Rogers to third. Timbrook stays at first. Really nice play out in center there by Josh Fitzgerald to make that play, because if he doesn't, that thing rose to the wall and at least scores 3 runs. So Michigan does get a run, though, so they now lead 3-0 on the Dernetti sac fly to center. So Garcia will step in, top of the order for Michigan, runners on the corners with 1 out, bottom of the second. Score moves to 3-0. Really nice play there by Fitzgerald. We'll see if Michigan doesn't end up scoring again. That will be huge. Saved at least 2 runs making that play out in center. The 1-0 to Garcia is outside for a ball. Rather, that was the first pitch of the innings, or first pitch of the at-bat, rather. Yes. So 1-0 to Garcia. Timbrook on first, Rogers on third.
And the crowd's getting into this game a little.
Absolutely. The 1-0 to Garcia is high and away for a ball. Count moves to 2-0.
To be honest, beautiful day at the ballpark. I know the forecast is, it's high 40s, low 50s.
I think mid to high 50s throughout the day.
Mid to high 50s. It's very, with the sun outside, it's perfect.
It's nice. The 2-0 to A.J. Garcia is swung on and missed. So count moves to 2-1. Hefty cut there from the freshman.
Because especially as we broadcast on Tuesday, it was 70, 75.
Perfect.
But
it's beautiful.
We were roasted in the booth, direct sun.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 90 degrees in here.
Just had to put sunscreen on. Crazy.
Yeah, really.
The 2-1 to Garcia is high and away for a ball.
Yeah, no reason to swing with his control issues. But, yeah.
I mean, southeastern Michigan, and really Michigan at large, is a place that you could have snow, and then 2 weeks later need to put on sunscreen.
2 weeks?
I mean with as much
2 hours.
With as much as the weather varies here. As Garcia stands in for the 3-1, here it comes, swung on a miss. So count is full. That was probably a ball.
That was most definitely a ball. Garcia's regretting that right now. Like I said, you got to be a little more patient because this pitcher is struggling, can't really control the ball.
3-2 to Garcia is in for a strike, got him looking, and that is one you probably have to swing at if you're A.J. Garcia.
You do.
Maybe not right down the middle, but got to protect with 2 strikes. Didn't like the call. Tossed the bat, thought it was a walk, but I think it's a solid pitch there from Will Sem.
It was borderline. You could have called it either way, and there's no real argument.
I think you got to swing at that, though.
You got to swing with 2 strikes, but could have all been prevented a pitch before, so...
So Mitch Voigt stands in, swings at the first pitch, and will sky it in the infield. Second baseman Counsell is under it, called off by the first baseman. He'll make the play. So Michigan loads the bases with no outs, only scores 1, in large part due to the good defense by center fielder Josh Fitzgerald, who caught really a well-hit ball by Kyle Dernetti with the bases loaded, no outs, on a dive, and then able to throw the ball in. Only 1 scores for Michigan, so we'll see if that affects Michigan later in the game, Jake. I mean, we talk about Michigan maybe not capitalizing on certain opportunities. That was a great play out there in Fitzgerald by center. But to only score 1 run when you have the bases loaded and no outs, maybe leaving more to be desired. So we will move to the top of the third.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
When you have no outs, bases loaded, and really the top of your order coming up to bat. We said that before the inning started. If you get these guys on base, you're at the top of the order, you're guaranteed to score several runs, or at least a couple. So pretty, I mean, you can't complain whenever you score a run, but pretty disappointing, all things considered.
So Michigan up 3-0 as we enter the top of the third inning. Kurt Barr will retake the mound for Michigan. Has been stellar through his first 2 innings. Has only given up 1 hit and 1 base runner, and the hit was
Mickey Mouse hit.
Went under the glove, well hit ball, but went right under the glove of Dylan Stanton. So Barr has been fantastic for Michigan on the mound so far.
Fantastic.
So get this top of the third started for Minnesota.
And you got the weak part of the order coming up. 2 people padding in the 100s. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know why they're starting this game. You know, only, unless there's some injuries that I'm not familiar with, only 9 starts for for Brady coming up to bat. Or excuse me.
Kyle,
That's right. They doubled them up. So 3 batters batting in the 100s.
First pitch to Bork is high for a ball, 1-0 count. Kyle Bork grounds a ball to short. Dernetti on the play makes it at first to Stanton, so 1 away. Now, Kyle Bork, a senior, will be followed by Brady Jurgella, also a senior. Like you said, the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming into this game all below 200.
That's brutal. I mean, that's bad for the MLB, but in college where there's more offense, that's really horrendous. So it should be a good inning for our pitcher here.
First pitch to Brady Jurgella is a ball, 1-0. So bar from the windup. Here comes the 1-0. Works quickly. Swung on and skied to left field. Rustich tracking it down. Makes the play out in the left. Kind of stuck that glove out at the last second. Maybe overran the ball a bit. Makes the play regardless. 2 up, 2 down. As Jack Spanier will step in, the 9 hitter for Minnesota. Only a freshman. This is his 11th game of the season. First pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Spanier, product of Cold Spring, Minnesota. The freshman stands in at 6 feet and 180 pounds. The 1-0. Swung on and fouled. Back towards the cars. Don't park over there, folks. Might sound tempting, might make the walk shorter, but you don't want to learn the hard way. Why not to park there? There's plenty of spots to park down towards a gymnastics arena that is well out of where any balls will be hit. So I know that short walk is tempting, but please, for the sake of your car.
I hate to say it, but I kind of want to see a windshield break here.
The 2-1 is high. Count moves to 3-1.
The people learned their lesson. I think against Western Michigan, there was several cars.
I mean, you can see
in that first row. Now there's only one, really.
There's really not that many right behind the Minnesota dugout, and for good reason. The 3-1 is swung on and missed. So count is 3-2 for Jack Spanier. But, yeah, nobody parking directly behind what is the Golden Gopher, the away bullpen here at Ray Fisher, and for good reason. That's right in the wheelhouse of foul balls. The 3-2 gets away from the catcher, so drawing a walk is Jack Spanier.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a walk anyways, but even if it was a strike, that ball really got away from the catcher. But
no, you're good. So Minnesota, 1 on, 2 outs, top of the lineup.
Yeah, and Kurt Barr, I mean, pitcher here for Michigan, his best statistic, in my opinion, 199 batting average allowed. That's spectacular.
That's a great stat there from Kurt Barr, and he's been living up to it so far today. As Council takes the first pitch high for a ball, it's 1-0. So Spanier on first, no outs. Michigan looking to make it no runs through 3 innings. The 1-0. Changeup is hit into left field, but the shortstop Dernetti working back on it kind of floated, and Dernetti able to track it down and make the play. So 4 up, 3 down for Minnesota. Michigan allows a base runner on a walk, but nothing else, as Kurt Barr has gone 3 innings without giving up a run. Excellent start to him as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
And I think the best stat here this game is the pitch count. Barr only 33 pitches through 3 innings. So at this pace, I wonder, because he is more of a bullpen guy, he's only started 3 games out of 12 this season, I wonder what his allowed pitch count is. But at this pace, for a typical starter, you can push him 7, 8 innings. But I doubt they're going to do that with him. But even if he goes 6 innings with allowing 2 or less runs, I mean, that's a quality start. That's amazing. That's all you can ask for.
Will Sem will remain on the mound for Minnesota as we enter this bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Rustich, Priest, Stanton. So 3, 4, 5, middle of the order for Michigan due up as they look to make it 3 straight innings of scoring. Just a quick recap of this early part of the game. Mitch Voigt hit a bomb to left field to open this scoring up 2-0 in the first. Michigan tacked on one more via a sac fly in the second, although they did, at one point in the second inning, have the bases loaded with no outs, only able to get one run out of it, but nevertheless, they are up 3-0 and looking to make that more as we enter the bottom of the third inning. Steven Rustich will step into the box for Michigan. Will Sem, the Gopher starter, remains on the mound. Infield playing straight up. Shortstop Spanier is at the grass, but otherwise pretty straight up. Sem will toe the third base side of the rubber and work from the stretch. First pitch is swung on and grounded foul.
And I would, if I'm Michigan here, I would take, obviously the batters have a different mentality. If they like a pitch, they're going to swing, but I would start taking these first pitches because 43 pitches for Sem, only 20 strikes. So less than half of his pitches.
The 0-1 is in for a strike. Good start here from Sem.
Good start for him, but also you got to think out of those strikes that are less than half, some of them aren't strikes, and they're swinging at him anyways. So
strikeout opportunity here for Sem. 0-2 to Steven Rustich. From the stretch, here it comes. Swung on in line to left field. Will it get down? No, it'll be foul.
That was, from this angle, it looked fair, but I'm going to trust. There doesn't seem to be much protest.
Yeah. It was close, but I think clear for a foul ball there. Good contact, though, from Steven Rustich. Just has to straighten the swing out a bit.
It was hidden behind that wall that on the third baseline a little.
So 0-2, the count remains to Steven Rustich. Here it comes. Misses low and inside for a ball. Count moves to 1-2.
It's a good take. That's a tough ball to take there. Down 0-2.
The 1-2 hits Rustich, and Rustich will fall down. And Rustich clearly in some pain. Not sure where it hit him. But Rustich in severe discomfort right now, getting tended to, and he will walk down to first. So Rustich seems all right, but really took a shot there. And you hope to see Steven Rustich shake that one off. Got hit hard. You said in the elbow.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. I think he'll be okay as he is at first base. Just a stinger. Especially with that funny bone area. It can really cause a lot of pain. But Rustich looks all right. So Michigan has a base runner with no outs.
Now, I would take until he throws a strike at this at bat, but we'll see.
It's a tough situation. It's a 1-2 count, right? And you hit a batter.
No, I'm saying for Priest.
Yeah. But last at bat, 1-2 count, and you hit the batter. It's just a tough turn of events there as the ball gets away from the catcher. Rustich, though, will stay at first.
I mean, that shows you, though, this Sem's control is just not there today. And that's usually not a problem. Not a big problem for him. He throws a walk about every other inning this season.
The 1-0 to Colin Priest. Misses away for a ball, 2-0.
Yeah, I like this mentality by Priest. Just sitting until he really likes it. No need to swing at something maybe outside the zone or questionable.
Rustich is checked at first. Slides back safely. Michigan hasn't really shown that they want to steal today. They haven't attempted a steal. Nevertheless, Minnesota has checked them back at first at least 4 or 5 times. The 2-0 just misses for a ball.
Yep.
That's a tough miss. Good pitch there from Will Sem. As the count moves to 3-0. When you talk about the stats, Sem has thrown more balls than strikes this game, but I don't think it's been terrible misses. A lot of these have been kind of close. Credit to these Michigan hitters for holding back. The 3-0, that one misses for a ball.
That was not close. They got to take Sem out of there.
So we do have some action in the Golden Gopher bullpen.
And this is key because it's a doubleheader. So if you knock a couple some bullpen arms out of the game in game 1, you're going to be at a real advantage come game 2, if it is a close game in the later innings.
So Dylan Stanton will step in with 2 on and no out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Priest on first, Rustich on second. That ball gets away from the catcher, Niels, and both runners will advance. Looks like it hit maybe off the toe, the way it kind of took a bounce off of the catcher, Weber Niels. So Rustich advances to 3rd, Priest to 2nd. 2 runners in scoring position, no outs. Another big scoring opportunity for Michigan.
And Sem clearly, every time that they've squared up to Bunny, he's been a little, he doesn't want to throw the pitch to him. He doesn't want to throw it down the middle.
So 1-0 to Dylan Stanton. Here it comes. That one is swung on and missed. Kind of a reluctant, hesitant swing there from Stanton. Looks like that off-speed might have thrown him off a bit.
Because I think they're taking the same approach that I said. They want to sit on something good, and so.
The 1-1 to Stanton. The one is swung on and lined to center field. Will it get down? No, it will not. Good play there by the center fielder, Fitzgerald. Tagging from 3rd is Rustich. He will score. That is the second really quality play in center from Josh Fitzgerald on the run. Rustich does tag on the sac fly from Stanton, but Fitzgerald able to mitigate the damage. So Michigan extends their lead to 4. On the sac fly there from Dylan Stanton. Good piece of hitting. Great play out there in center, though, again from Josh Fitzgerald. Michigan extends their lead to 4-0, though. So Priest stays at 2nd. You've got 1 out for Cole Caruso, who will step in. He walked in his first play appearance back in the 2nd. First pitch is outside for a ball.
Yeah, as you mentioned, very, very good center field play. The last one wasn't as impressive as the first one, but still a tricky catch on the move there.
The 1-0 is swung on and skied to right field. Hawkinson going back and making the play. Tagging from 2nd to 3rd is Priest, and he will slide in safely. So Priest advances from 2nd to 3rd on the flyouts. So 2 outs and 1 runner on 3rd. Boy, would love to get this run home, as
what?
They will call, I believe, Priest out. I think he might have gone early. So umpires called Priest out. So that is the end of the inning. So they'll call a double play. They're saying that Priest left 2nd early. So Michigan leaves a runner on, but they do score another run.
But you know what, though? This might bite them come the end of this game. I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday with the Western game. You're leaving these runs on the table where you had players on 2nd and 3rd, no outs.
They've left 3 on so far this game.
Yeah, but especially this inning, 2nd and 3rd, no outs, and you got to at least score those 2 runs. So, again, can't complain about scoring runs every inning, being up 4-0 after 3, but you just hope it doesn't come back to bite you.
So we move to the top half of the 4th inning. Minnesota with another opportunity here. They're down 4-0. Kurt Barr will retake the mound for Michigan. He has been fantastic so far. Has only given up 1 hit. Between Michigan and Minnesota, this is the first of a doubleheader that we'll have for you this afternoon.
Is anyone on game 2?
We've got Kellen Flynn on game 2 and Jordan Neff on game 2. So remember to stay tuned for that, as Michigan, if they win these 2 games, they're only 2 games within 500. So some big games in the middle point of the season. Michigan looking.
More importantly, though, 8-3 in the Big. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
That would be nice, though. First pitch to Jake Perry is in for a strike from Kurt Barr, who just continues to roll here. Infield is shifted a bit towards the first base side. The 0-1 changeup. Beautiful pitch there from Kurt Barr. Just floated in majestically for a strike.
I'm enjoying watching
but that looked
this.
good on the analytics as Barr gets up 0-2.
I'm enjoying watching this this pitcher. Barr deal his stuff.
The 0-2 to Perry, swung and missed. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a major league level at bat for Kurt Barr on 3 beautiful pitches. Got Jake Perry, a guy who hits 296, to go down swinging on 3 pitches. Kurt Barr is absolutely on fire. As Weber Niels will step in, the catcher for Minnesota. Good matchup here. Niels at 323 on the season, only a sophomore. First pitch to Niels. He's just outside for a ball. Big shift for Michigan in the infield. The second baseman, Timbrook, is on the third base side of second base. So we've got 3 Michigan infielders on the left side. The first baseman, Stanton, stands alone on the right side of the infield. Second pitch is low for a ball. 2-0 count to Weber Niels. Love this battle here. We'll see who comes out on top. Barr from the windup. 2-0. In for a strike. Nice off speed there. 2-1.
Painted the corner there, but needed that. Can't go down. 3-0 there.
The 2-1 is swung on in line. The left field, that's going to get down. Potential extra bases for Niels. He finds the wall. Corralled by left fielder Rustich, and throw is in time. Gunned down at second base is Niels. What a throw from left by Steven Rustich.
There we go.
Applying the tag is Mac Timbrook in Michigan. Catches Niels trying to be sneaky and take second.
What a great play there in left field by Rustich. But if you're Niels, or if you're the third base coach, you're telling them to go 2 every time. So
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
It was just a great defensive play by Rustich.
Mazenga steps in, takes a strike for the first pitch. We were really raving about Kurt Barr, and rightfully so. He's been fantastic. But how about that play in left from Steven Rustich? As Michigan just clicking on all cylinders right now, on the mound defensively and at the plate. Similar feeling, though, that we had during the Western game, Jim. So got to keep that foot on the gas. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. What a beautiful off-speed there from Kurt Barr again.
Going to get me in trouble here.
So 1-2 count to Ike Mazenga. Mazenga singled back in the second. It was one of 2 hits that the Gophers have here, almost through 4 innings. The 1-2 is skied to left field. Third baseman Caruso going back. It's going to be Rustich. He'll make the play. Again, sticking that glove out at the last second is Steven Rustich. Makes the play nevertheless. In Michigan, again, holding Minnesota scoreless through 4. It's 4-0 Wolverines as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Okay, so here's something to watch. Barr, I can't figure this guy out. He's pitched his most amount of pitches in a game is 104. So if he's dealing, they're going to let him stay out. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially as we said, in a doubleheader where you want to save your bullpen pieces for game 2 or even tomorrow. How far can you stretch them?
It's a great question. Will Sem, from the meanwhile, will stay on the mound for Minnesota.
And I love this. I'm looking. If you're Michigan, if you're a Michigan hitter, you got to be licking your chops. But he's only allowed 2 hits, so a majority of these base runners are coming off hit by pitches, off of just normal walks. You got to be a little more patient. If you're a hitter, you want to attack a pitcher who you might think is a little subpar, but if I'm Coach Smith, I'm telling my guys to wait for at least 1 strike to start swinging the bat.
So 4-0 Michigan as we enter the bottom of the 4th. Will Rogers, the catcher, will dig in as Will Sem stays on the mound. Infield playing straight up against Rogers. Rogers drew a walk back in the second. So Sem, again, will toe that third base side of the rubber and work from the stretch. First pitch to Rogers, misses outside for a ball, 1-0. I want to thank you again for joining WCBN-Sports' coverage of Michigan baseball. This is the first of a doubleheader. The 1-0 is low for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. If you're just joining us, Michigan has really been clicking in all three phases, pitching, defensively, and offensively. Kurt Barr has been fantastic through 4 innings for Michigan. Mitch Voigt hit a bomb in the first inning as Rogers fouls the third pitch back. Count is 2-1. Mitch Voigt took a ball for a flight to left field to break open this game in the first. Michigan has scored 1 run in each of the next 2 innings. So Michigan looking to make it 4 straight innings of scoring. It is 4-0 Michigan, bottom 4. No outs. The 2-1 to Will Rogers is outside. Count moves to 3-1.
I know it's a little harder to say on a 3-1 count, but I would just auto take this because of the control issues.
And instead, Rogers swings and will hit a grounder to third. Perry, easy play at first. Maybe you want to take that pitch on a 3-1 count, Jake.
100%, because right now they're batting 2 for 12. So yeah, I think you just got to be a little more patient.
So Mac Timbrook will step in for the Wolverines. 1 down. Timbrook singled back in the second. He's really had a good season, the senior, hitting .286. First pitch is in for a strike. Timbrook in his 33rd game for the Wolverines this season, his 31st start. The 0-1 floats in for a strike. Nice off-speed there from Will Sem. Changeup kind of froze Mac Timbrook, so quickly down 0-2. Here comes the 0-2. One is swung on and grounded towards the middle. Shortstop Spanier unable to make the throw in time.
Very close.
Good fielding play by the shortstop. Got on his knees, but unable to fire it over to first in time as Mac Timbrook gets his second hit of the afternoon on an infield single.
Very good play by the shortstop. If you're the pitcher, it bounced right to you. There is some instinct to get out of the way, but is there some logic in putting your body on the line and getting that out?
So Kyle Dernetti will step in with Timbrook on first. First pitch is in for a strike, catches the outside corner. So runner on for Michigan as they look to make it 4 straight innings of scoring.
And what's that chant?
I'm not sure. We got a chant going on with the fans. We got a young baseball team here, all in their jerseys, the Trojans. Coming and enjoying some Michigan baseball here on a crisp Saturday afternoon.
It's your class of 36 here today.
Yep, some youngins in the stands today. So count is even at 1-1 for Kyle Dernetti. Mac Timbrook on first after an infield single. Will Sem, the starter, has remained on the mound for Minnesota. Fires over to first to check Timbrook, who slides in safe. Sem will tow the third base side of that pitching mound. From the stretch, the 1-1 is swung and missed. So count moves to 1-2 for Kyle Dernetti.
I couldn't tell if that was a strike or not because it bounced right before the catcher, but it was an off-speed pitch there from Will Sem.
As Timbrook once again checked at first, will slide back safe.
And Timbrook does have the most stolen bases this year out of the starters today. So it does make sense he wants to keep him in check.
The The 1-2 to Dernetti. Gets away from the catcher. Timbrook going to second, and he slides in safely. That ball gets away from the second baseman. Timbrook thought about going to third, but kind of lost his footing on the way, so scampers back to second.
And he had that. I think he gets there easily if he continues it. Did he lose his footing, or did the third base coach tell him
It might have been a reaction to the third base coach.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. But Timbrook able to take second on the wild pitch. Really got a nice jump. As I'm sure that will count as a stolen base. I think he was going regardless. We'll see what the replay says. The 2-2, meanwhile, is swung on and fouled back to Kyle Dernetti. So runner in scoring position for Michigan. We've got one down here in the bottom of the fourth. Softball has gotten underway across the way at Carroll Hutchins Stadium. So a busy day.
It was not a stolen base.
Not a stolen base. Got it. Going at error against the catcher. So 2-2 count. Got him, strike three. Caught the outside edge. Kind of a delayed call there from Eric Lovelace.
Wild pitch.
Behind the plate. As Dernetti kind of puzzled, it seemed, from that third strike call. Definitely close. So A.J. Garcia will step in with 2 outs. The lefty. Garcia got hit by a pitch in the first inning and struck out looking in the second. First pitch to Garcia is high and inside for a ball, 1-0 count. Again, Michigan has scored in each of the first 3 innings. We are now in the bottom of the fourth. Michigan has a runner on second with 2 outs. So Michigan looking to make it 4 straight innings of scoring. The 1-0 is low for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. Garcia has drawn 9 base on balls so far this season. 10, actually, if you count the hit by pitch today as he fouls that next pitch back. Count moves to 2-1. Garcia on the season, 51 at-bats, has 16 hits. That's good for a .314 average. The 2-1 to Garcia is swung on and fouled back, so count evens at 2-2.
All we need is 1 hit to knock in this runner. Fastest guy on the team.
The 2-2 from the stretch. Here it comes. One is outside for a ball, so count fills up at 3-2. Big pitch here for Minnesota with Mitch Voigt waiting on deck. Big pitch here. 3-2, swung on and fouled back. Good fight here for A.J. Garcia, as he will soon see the 7th pitch of this at-bat. Count is 3-2. We've got no outs. 2 outs, rather, excuse me. Bottom of the fourth. The 3-2 to Garcia is swung on and flied the left field. Turgella going back, and that one is out of here for A.J. Garcia. Second straight home run for the Wolverines deep to left field as Garcia knocks in 2 more for the Wolverines. It's now 6-0 Michigan.
Garcia's first college home run. Wow. Did not expect that out of Garcia.
So the freshman goes yard for the first time in his young Wolverine career as Michigan blows this thing open. It's 6-0 Wolverines. Mitch Voigt will step in now with 2 outs. First pitch to Voigt is in for a strike. Really good at-bat there from A.J. Garcia. Count was full for a while. I believe he saw 7 or 8 pitches. He just had to wait for his right pitch, and the rest is history. The 0-1 to Voigt catches the outside corner for strike 2.
And you got to think this is his last out for Sem. Unless they kind of just concede this game and want to save some of their arms.
As Voigt goes down on strikes. Again, yes, double header, so got to strategize in terms of your pitching. Don't want to run out of arms early, so probably part of the reason Sem is still out there. But Michigan able to tack on 2 more as they extend their lead to 6. It is 6-0 Wolverines after A.J. Garcia goes yard for a 2-run shot. It has been 4 straight innings of scoring for Michigan. They have scored in every inning so far this game. And for Kurt Barr, he has been equally as good as this Michigan offense. No runs on only 2 hits allowed. He has been fantastic. Really, this Michigan team as a whole has been fantastic. As Barr will go back to work for Michigan. Fitzgerald, Hawkinson, and Bork, 5, 6, and 7 due up for Minnesota. As we enter the top of the 5th inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Once again, I'm Owen Klein, joined on my right by Jake Handler. Thanks for spending some time with us here on this Saturday afternoon. Yeah. It's a good weather for baseball after a rainy couple of days that saw the cancellation of yesterday's game between these 2 programs. Now we have a doubleheader today. And then the 3rd game of the series will be played tomorrow. WCBN on the coverage for all 3, so be sure to tune in. Thanks for supporting student radio at the University of Michigan. As Josh Fitzgerald will step in for Minnesota. Struck out in his only plate appearance back in the 2nd. First pitch to Fitzgerald is grounded foul down the 3rd baseline. Good turnout here at Ray Fisher.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. A lot of fans opting to sit in the sun rather than in the shade. Pick up that vitamin D. The 0-1 to Fitzgerald is check swing, will be a ground ball to Stanton. He gets it easily. Kurt on the coverage will tap first base.
I love when that happens.
As Fitzgerald lightly taps a check swing grounder for the first out of the inning.
I like the check swing when he hits it by mistake, and then I also like when it's a wild pitch and they have it back in their stance and it hits the top of the bat behind their head.
Yep. Chris Hawkinson swings at the first pitch and he will single to right field. So runner on with 1 out for Minnesota. What I really like about those check swing ground balls is the reaction of the batter. They're like, oh my goodness, it's actually fair. So they have to start going down there. Always a good time when you play America's pastime. So Hawkinson singles. We've got 1 out, 1 on for Minnesota. Kyle Bork steps in. 3rd base runner of the afternoon for Minnesota. Bork sporting a 188 average. First pitch is high and away for a ball. So double play opportunity for Michigan. Infield is straight up. Tim Brooks, second baseman, is a little closer to the base, I would say, than standard position, but otherwise pretty straight up. The 1-0. One is inside for a ball. Hitters count 2-0 to Kyle Bork, the senior first baseman. Barr from the stretch. The 2-0 catches the outside corner for a strike. Count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, and these last 3 hitters for Minnesota, I'm still questioning why they're even in this lineup, but they're the worst 3 hitters in the lineup statistically by far, so you got to attack.
The 2-1 is drilled to the second baseman, caught by Tim Brooks.
There we go.
Got him at first base. That was line to the second baseman. And Tim Brooks quickly flipping it over to Dylan Stanton for a double play to end the inning.
What I say?
It's the second time Michigan's done that this afternoon. Wow. Clicking on all cylinders, huh?
That's what happens.
So Michigan.
Yeah. What'd I say there? You're facing a 191 batter. You got to attack. That's what happens. So fantastic from Barr. Great play by the second baseman. Wolverines taking a 6-run advantage in the bottom of the 5th.
That's 2 double plays for Michigan. Neither have been ground balls. Both have been lineouts with the Minnesota base runner unable to get back to the base in time. That ball was lined sharply to Mac Timbrook at second, right where he was standing. Caught it and fired it over to Dylan Stanton at first for the double play. As we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, everything going right for Michigan this afternoon. Score is 6-0.
Who's pitching here? It can't be Sem. Can it?
It can be. Will Sem is still out on the mound for Minnesota. So
all right.
At this point, it might be for the sake of saving your arm.
It must be because he's at 80 pitches. Like, it's not like he's letting up all these runs, but he's still relatively fresh. Like,
Sem has allowed 4 hits, 6 runs, all of which have been earned, and 3 walks as well. Has struck out 5 batters.
Yeah, because these Wolverine players are just hungry. They want to attack him. So a little aggressive at the plate, even though the control is a bit off.
So Steven Rustich will step in for Michigan. Rustich struck out in the 1st, got drilled by a pitch in the 3rd. Glad to see he's okay. First pitch to Rustich is outside for a ball, 1-0. Rustich is in his 1st season with Michigan as a grad transfer. Played his previous 4 years of baseball across the lake in Evanston for Northwestern. Grounds that 2nd pitch foul. We're even at 1-1.
Now, did you see what Northwestern's doing with his football team? Did you see
not.
this on Twitter? They're getting a whole new stadium, indoor stadium. They're moving their main fields to right on the lake.
Interesting. It's going to be a beautiful view.
A little weird how it's going to be logistically. We'll see how they set the stands up.
Field.
I think they have a practice field set up there, and they're going to convert it.
I like that.
And maybe put some seating. So we're gonna see how that looks.
That's awesome. The 2-1 to Rustich catches the outside corner for a strike. Count evens at 2-2.
I don't believe Michigan plays there next year.
I don't think they do. But that will be beautiful, and they will play there eventually. So if any Michigan grads are in the Chicago area, as many are, want to catch a game up in Evanston. Next pitch is high for a ball, so count is now full for Steven Rustich. Rustich in Michigan's last game against Wisconsin-Milwaukee was stellar. Was 3 of 4, including a double and a run scored. Here comes the 3-2. One is swung on and popped up high in the air. Second baseman Council is under it, and he will make the play. So Steven Rustich is retired. 1 down for Minnesota. In will step Colin Priest. Priest, 0 of 1 today. Struck out in the 1st and walked in the 3rd. First pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. My bad. Next pitch is a ball, so count evens at 1-1. Apologies, we're just moving around some wires here. But 1-1 to Colin Priest. Swings at the next pitch. Big swing there from Priest as the count moves to 1-2. Next pitch is a big cut as Priest goes down on strikes. So 2 retired now. For Dylan Stanton, who will step in with 2 outs for Michigan. Sam from the stretch. The first pitch is crushed by Stanton, deep left center. Will it get out? Yes, it will. Yes. For Dylan Stanton. Just when you think Michigan can't keep the streak of scoring alive, they do. In the 5th, Dylan Stanton goes yard. It's 7-0 Wolverines.
Is there a mercy rule in Big Ten play? I think there is. It 10?
There is.
I believe there might be a mercy
rule
in play.
Can be applied in the 7th inning when one team leads by 10 or more runs. So Michigan,
just something to think about.
Michigan now up 7-0 in the bottom of the 5th. We've got 2 outs. As Dylan Stanton goes deep for Michigan's 3rd home run of the afternoon. So we're not even fully through 5 innings. As Cole Caruso will step in for his 3rd plate appearance. He walked in the 2nd and flew out for what was eventually a double play in the 3rd. The 0-1 misses for a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. One is inside for a strike. Count moves to 1-2 for Cole Caruso. The 1-2. Check swing. They're saying he went. So Cole Caruso is retired on strikes, but not before Dylan Stanton hits the Wolverines' 3rd home run of the afternoon. Michigan with a commanding 7-0 lead as we enter the top of the 6th inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium and the first of today's doubleheader between Michigan and Minnesota.
No, at this point, I just want the mercy. So you got to imagine they're taking out Semb for the 6th inning. They can't leave him in. But at this point, they're not going to be throwing their premier relievers because the game's out of hand. So I don't want to be too negative, but it's not out of hand till it's over with this pitching staff. But 7-0. It's a pretty good bet that the Wolverines are well on their way to winning this game, as they should be.
We've got Big Ten student U in the booth to our right.
No free shout-outs.
Just trying to paint the picture for our viewers here.
No, you want to stay here, listen to the student
do want to
radio.
stay here.
Don't support the Big Ten, especially if you're a Michigan fan. We know what happened. Honestly, I'm going to tweet this link out so more people hop on the live stream.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us at WCBN-Sports. A beautiful spring Saturday afternoon here in Ann Arbor. It never gets old. A lot of life is not constant. A lot of life is about change. But one thing is constant is you will always enjoy a sunny spring day. It's been that way for my whole life.
And WCBN will be here to broadcast the game.
100%. So top of the 6th inning for Brady Jurgella will step in for Minnesota. First pitch catches the inside corner for a strike. Kurt Barr has simply been fantastic for Michigan on the mound. Started this game. Is now in his 6th inning of pitching so far. Second pitch in for a strike. So Barr quickly up 0-2.
He only has 53 pitches. That's the best part. So you can throw him out for the 6th right now, and if he gets through this pretty efficiently, throw him out a 7th.
Next pitch is skied to left field. Looks like it's going to be foul, and it is. So count remains at 0-2. Jurgella took that thing for a ride, though, out in foul territory. Doesn't count for anything, though, so we'll do it over again. That pitch just misses as the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, I don't like that call.
It was close.
Gotta toss him a couple bones down, 7-0. So
the 1-2 to Jurgella, swing and a miss. Check swing. Home plate umpire will call him out. So
it's so. I mean, sometimes just amazing. Like you sit on the one before that I thought was a strike, and then you swing at one in the dirt.
That's baseball. Yeah,
that is baseball.
It's mostly a mental game as Barr records his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. Jack Spanier will step in, the freshman shortstop the 9-hitter, who will ground his first pitch to third. Fair ball, good play there by Caruso, who makes the play at first. We commentated the Western Michigan game on Tuesday, and he made a very similar play with a ball that was hugging that third base line. Cole Caruso able to throw it across the diamond for the second out of the inning. He has been fantastic defensively at third base.
Yeah, he has. He really has been a good couple game stretch, but if we keep talking about this Western game, you're going to get me thrown out of the radio station. So
2 outs for Brady Council, who takes a strike on his first pitch. Caruso, that ball, I wasn't even sure if that ball was going to be fair. Caruso able to knock it out
barely
of the
fair.
air. Yeah. So the 0-1 to Council misses for a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Michigan is looking really good as of late. Here comes the 1-1 to Council. One is in for a strike as it grazes the outside edge. Again, the Wolverines have won 6 of their last 8, and they're coming off of a 3-1 home win against Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Next pitch just misses for a ball. Count evens at 2-2. So if Michigan gets out of this inning without giving up a run, they will have only given up 1 run in their last 15 innings. As that pitch...
What about, we don't want to mention the 16th.
We're not going to mention the 16th.
We're not going to mention
We're not
the
going to mention that
16th.
16th inning. But if we're going back 15 innings, Michigan has
I
only
like
given
that.
up 1 run.
I like that.
They are currently up 7-0 now. The 3-2 is swung on and crushed to left field. Oh, my God, I just jinxed that, and I did. That one clears the brick wall for Minnesota's first run of the afternoon.
I apologize to
Michigan
Barr.
Baseball.
Apologize to Barr.
Apologize to you, Kurt Barr, as Brady Council goes deep for Minnesota.
It's almost too classic.
The Stars as Minnesota scores their first run of the game. It's 7-1 Wolverines with 2 outs.
Come on, he's dealing nowhere in runs. 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. You just had to say that.
I apologize to all Michigan fans and Kurt Barr and his ERA statistic. Whoever else is affected by that, I do. It was pretty cool to have only 1 run given up in the last 15 innings. Now we're at 2.
Now we're at 2.
So 7-1 Wolverines. It's interesting because Michigan has 5 hits. Minnesota has 4 hits. But the walks, the errors.
Now what's this conversation going on here?
And we're having a conversation between
the manager.
Yep. Tracy Smith and home plate umpire Eric Lovelace. Right to the side of home plate by the Michigan logo as the umpires will have their second meeting.
I didn't get it. Is he saying it was foul or something?
That was definitely
It was
fair.
definitely not foul.
That was 100% fair.
I know it was.
So not sure what this meeting is about. Kurt Barr trying to get a listen into this meeting. The pitcher is standing a couple feet by the 4 umpires who are having a conversation. We'll see what the call is. As home plate umpire Eric Lovelace will relay the information to Kurt Barr, and based on Kurt's reaction, see what the call is here. So Tracy Smith gives Lovelace a thumbs up, so I'm assuming everything will stay the way it is.
I have no idea what just happened.
No clue what that was about. I don't think it will make any difference, though.
Watch out. What is going on?
And they're going back to replay here. They're going to
So I'm going to take a little sneak.
We got an announcement in the PA. Not sure what they just said. We'll see what the replay's for.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to spy on this broadcast happening next door. See what they're reviewing. No one seems to know. And it looks like a clean home run to me. Yep. fair ball by far. Very confused with the reviewing here. I thought for a second they were kind of stalling to get someone warmed up in the pen, but there's no one warming up in the pen. See if these analytics guys know.
I don't think they do. We are joined in the booth by some of the wonderful analytics people here for the baseball team. So, run will count. It'll be a home run for Council. Still not sure what the meeting was about, but I don't think it matters because the score is the same and everything is the same. So 2 outs, Jake Perry will act like it never happens. From the windup, here we go. Perry scores it to bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike anyway. So 0-1 count to Jake Perry. Infield is shifted towards the first base side of the field. We've got Mac Timbrook, the second baseman, well into the outfield, and ground ball will be hit straight to him. He'll make the backhand play, flip it over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So Minnesota gets on the board via a Council home run, but otherwise a pretty good inning for Barr still as he continues to roll.
Yeah, and it's totally Owen's fault. So
that is my fault. I'll take responsibility for that. You can put that on my ERA and not on Kurt Barr's ERA.
Exactly.
You can count that as mine. Don't count it towards Kurt's stat keepers.
And if we lose by 1 again, I'm blaming you.
You can blame me. I'll take the blame.
I'm ranting on you.
So bottom 6, Michigan will look to make it 6 straight innings of scoring.
Sem's still out there?
No, I do not think Sem is still out there. I see number 40.
They got to change that video board.
And that is Tyler Hemish. The freshman righty will now work for the Gophers as they will make their first pitching change of the afternoon.
See what his stats are. Tyler Hemish, only his 4th appearance on the season, 3.38 ERA, but pretty small sample size. I don't know what to think of him. He's obviously not one of their main guys. They just want to... It says only 3 appearances, but it's showing some contradicting on the website. It's showing he's appeared in upwards of 7 games.
I've got 7 on mine. 13.2 innings pitched. ERA, though, 3.29.
3.29.
He has given up 8 hits, 5 earned runs in just under 14 innings.
Yeah, Minnesota needs to update their website.
So 7-1. 7-1. Michigan. As Will Rogers, the catcher, will step in for the Wolverines. Drew a walk in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th. First pitch, hefty swing and miss there from Rogers. So Hemish, the freshman. We'll see what kind of damage he can do. From the windup. Via 1. Off speed misses outside for a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Rogers, the junior, facing off against Hemish, the freshman.
And Hemish, highly touted prospect, top 100.
The 1-1, big swing and a miss there from Rogers. So Rogers is down 0-2. Yeah, again, Hemish, 3.29 ERA, 1.1 WHIP.
Whip. Yeah,
walks and hits in the innings pitched, and those are some good numbers there. The 1-2 bounces in for a ball, count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, top 100 prospect, and it's interesting because you really don't see top baseball prospects specifically going up to the Big Ten, especially Minnesota. But he's a Minnesota native, just wanted to stay home.
The 2-2 is lined straight at the center fielder Fitzgerald, who will make the play. Good contact there from Rogers. but hit it right to Josh Fitzgerald as Mac Timbrook will step in for the third time. He's got 2 singles so far. He's 2 for 2. Singled in the second and then hit the infield single in the fourth. Reached on the bunt. So third baseman, accordingly, Perry is in a bit. First pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. Michigan with 5 hits as a team so far. They've scored 7 runs, though, so pretty efficient, although they have left 3 or 4 base runners on. The 0-1 is inside, caught the inside corner for a strike. Good frame job there by the catcher, Niels. So the 0-2 to Mac Timbrook. That's on his way, and that one is grounded foul down the third base line. Curious to see how Michigan's order responds to this pitching change. Tyler Hemish is a guy that has an ERA of just over 3. This is a quality pitcher here. See if Michigan keeps it rolling in the box. The 0-2 misses for a ball. Count moves to 1-2.
And like I said at the beginning of this game, you had a weak starter. Obviously, they got to him, and you can't ask for more. 7 runs, 5 innings. But they have the second lowest ERA in the Big Ten, so we knew this bullpen.
The 1-2 is ripped up the middle for a single. There's Mac Timbrook with his 3rd single of the game.
You know what? I think the strategy is to just talk about how good a pitcher is when we're on offense so we get some hits. Reverse jinx.
So Kyle Dernetti will step in to some Morgan Wallen for his walk-up music. We've got 1 runner on. Mac Timbrook after the singles on first. Michigan looking to make it 6 straight innings of scoring. First pitch is a ball outside. Got 1 down, bottom of the 6th. Michigan up 7-1. Freshman Tyler Hemish, highly touted freshman, is on the mound for Minnesota. The 1-0. One is swung on and chopped foul.
Definitely foul.
Down the first base line. First baseman Bork was trying to get it before it went foul.
It's a hit and run, though.
Yep. So Timbrook took off for second. Hit and run situation. Dernetti able to foul it off. Count is even at 1-1. So 1-1 count to Kyle Dernetti. Tyler Hemish will work from the stretch. Infield straight up. The 1-1. One is high for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Dernetti hit a sac fly back in the second. Struck out looking, though, in the fourth. So looking for his first hit of the game. The 2-1 to Dernetti is outside as the ball got away a bit from the catcher Niels, but able to quickly get it back. Timbrook stays at first. Top of the order waiting on deck, A.J. Garcia. The 3-1 to Dernetti. One catches the outer edge for a strike, so count fills for Kyle Dernetti as we are really getting a lot of fans here in Ray Fisher. The middle section is pretty full.
Pretty full.
Yeah. So 3-2 count for Kyle Dernetti. Timbrook on first. Here it comes. That one is swung on and fouled back as a fan will get a souvenir. That one looked like it almost hit our PA announcers, but got our windows closed. So we should be good.
Hit the window, bounce back. We need one up here.
We do. I'm ready to catch it. The 3-2. One is swung on and fouled back. Dernetti just got a piece of that one.
Another hit and run.
So Timbrook on first. We'll see if he takes off on another hit and run here. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Michigan up 7-1. as Timbrook is checked back at first by Hemish. That was a quick move on the mound by Hemish, so look out for that if you're a Michigan base runner. Count is still full. Hemish looking on the armband for the signal. He'll get it. Toes the first base side of the rubber. Does the righty. Infield straight up. The 3-2 to Dernetti. Timbrook takes off. It is ball 4 regardless, so it doesn't matter. As that ball gets away again from the second baseman. So Timbrook will take third. He already had second as Dernetti walked on the pitch, but that ball for the second time this game on the throw down to second gets away from Counsell, the second baseman, and Timbrook capitalizes and takes third.
Very silly. I mean, I guess if you're the catcher, you're locked in. You're not really hearing the ump. It must be. He must just have been locked in on the runner, try to throw him out at second, but very low IQ play. Bad throw, lets the runner advance to third.
So Garcia will step in for the 4th time today. Hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the second, then hit his first career home run. A 2-run shot to left center, scores up to bunt, and Timbrook will score at home. Garcia is just out at first, but is able to score the run on the sac bunt. So think about it. This is a guy who just homered, crushed the ball, and now he's asked to lay down a bunt on what looked like a suicide squeeze where they send the runner from third, and he does that successfully. So Garcia with his 3rd RBI of the afternoon, this time done in the opposite way of a home run on a sac bunt as Michigan puts a run on the board for the 6th straight inning. They are up 8-1.
Coach Smith loves his bunts.
Absolutely. And they come through on them as well.
I mean, it's interesting. At a time where you see Major League MLB baseball stray away from the bunt, you don't see him nearly as much as you used to. But Tracy Smith loves his bunts. It's worked out for Michigan.
So Mitch Voigt will step in with 2 outs. Dernetti on second. The 0-1 is swung out and missed. Count moves to 0-2. Really great piece of hitting from Timbrook, Dernetti, and Garcia. Back to back to back has allowed Michigan to put a run on the board for the 6th straight inning. So scores 8-1. Mitch Voigt takes a ball outside. Count moves to 1-2 for Voigt, who started all this scoring back in the first with a monster 2-run home run deep to left field. The 1-2 to Voigt. That one is swung on and missed. So Voigt strikes out for his 2nd straight at-bat. But Michigan puts another run on the board as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Kind of feels like this one's going by quickly. It's 8-1 Wolverines after 6.
You got to believe Barr comes back out here for the 6th inning. Only 67 pitches. And honestly, for the 7th inning, excuse me. And honestly, if he gets through this quickly, I don't know what his leash is, but he could do the 8th as well.
So we'll see if Kurt Barr can go the distance here. Has really been fantastic. Only gave up that 1 home run. Again, would like to thank you all for joining us here on WCBN-Sports. Always a privilege to have the opportunity to call Michigan baseball. Also got softball underway at Carroll Hutchins Stadium. A beautiful, sunny spring afternoon. Now, temperatures maybe not ideal for some fans, but still, it's mid to high 50s.
In the sun, it kind of balances out. It's very, very nice, but we like people. It's a little too sunny because we like people listening on the radio instead of being at the game, although we like either way.
I would definitely encourage you, if you can come out to a ball game here at Ray Fisher, you should. They are beautiful, as much as we like you tuning in on radio, and we're always going to be here to provide you guys coverage, but if it's a nice day and you're considering going down to the ballpark, you definitely should. It's a great scene here at Ray Fisher.
Except when Owen and Jake are on the call. Must listen. Must listen radio. Just an electric factory up in the booth. Minnesota's up to bat, down 8-1.
So Weber Niels will step in. Like you said, down 8-1. We'll see if the the strategy is here for Minnesota. I'm assuming it's green light for everybody, but never know. Infield shift is on. 3 on the left side of the infield. The 1-0 misses for a ball. 2-0. So Kurt Barr stays out there. Like you said, pitch count is relatively low, approaching 70. Niels is 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the 4th. The 2-0 catches the upper outside edge for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. Next pitch is shot to right field, right at Mitch Voigt, who makes a little Mario jump to make the play. Good play there by the right fielder, though.
It's good play. Lines right to him. Pretty routine. Line drive, pop fly, some 45-degree angle. I don't know what that jump was, though. It was a little...
Took a little hop, a couple inches off the ground.
I'm making it look a little more tough than it is.
Mazenga takes the first pitch in for a strike, so Kurt Barr has really been fantastic. He's only given up 4 hits through a little more than 6 innings. He's only walked 1 batter. The 0-1 is in for a strike. Count moves to 0-2, and he's really gotten ahead of these hitters, Jake.
Yeah.
With the counts.
That's key.
So Mazenga stands in. Mazenga, one of the 4 Minnesota hits, as the 0-2 is ripped to right field. That will get down. So Mazenga's second hit of the afternoon. Minnesota's 5th, as they have a runner aboard with 1 out.
At risk of jinxing things yet again, the great thing about these hits that Barr's allowing is, besides the home run, they've all been singles, I believe.
And the way this Michigan defense is playing, already has 2 double plays. So 1 out for Josh Fitzgerald with Mazenga on first. First pitch is outside. Good stop there by Will Rogers. That one could have gotten behind him, which would have advanced Mazenga from first to second. Rogers has really been good behind the dish defensively today. Him and his pitcher, Kurt Barr, are really on point with one another. The 1-0 to Fitzgerald. The 1 curves in. Beautiful off speed for a strike. Count evens at 1-1.
If I could make a request,
yeah,
I want them to show the pitch speeds.
That would be nice. I would like that. That would be very helpful. The 1-1 also curves in for a strike. Yeah,
it's lacking.
I know at Tigers games they'll have them in like the bottom corner of the scoreboard.
I think at every pro stadium for
sure, 100%.
I'm sure several top college schools have it as well.
That would be nice. The 1-2 to Josh Fitzgerald is outside for a ball. Count evens at 2-2. Fitzgerald 0 of 2 today. Again, a great story for this kid. Tore his ACL in early 2023, took the summer to rehab, and now he is back and playing and having a really productive season with Minnesota as the 5th pitch misses for a ball, so count is now full. It's 3-2. But Fitzgerald, the 5 hitter for the Golden Gophers this afternoon, hitting .317 on the season. This is his first season with Minnesota. Prior to that, he was with Kirkwood Community College, as the next pitch is skied to the infield. Second baseman Tim Brook is under it. He'll make the play. So Fitzgerald is retired. We've got 2 outs for Chris Hawkinson, who will dig in. Mazenga remains on first here at the top of the 7th. 8-1. Michigan leads Minnesota. First pitch to Hawkinson. Scores up to bunt, pulls it back, though. First pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. Hawkinson flew into a double play in the 2nd, hit a single in the 5th. The 1-0 floats in high for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. Tough pitch there. That was a good pitch. Yeah. So Mazenga on first. Comfortable day here at the ballpark. Top 7. The 2-0 is swung on and drilled to center field. Garcia's under it, though, and he makes the play. So Minnesota
All
leaves
right.
one aboard, and Michigan gets out of the 7th without giving up a run. Kurt Barr continues to roll. He's only at 80 pitches, so I'd imagine with the doubleheader they'll keep him out there, but you never know.
He pitched 104 in a game against Toledo, so they've shown the willingness to leave him out there. I think they will, because even in that inning with a runner on base, you didn't see anyone warming up in the bullpen.
I'm sure Barr will remain out there. I mean, only had 80 pitches. He's pitching well. Doubleheader. It's a 3-game conference series. You want to have your arms ready. Speaking of pitching, Tyler Hemish will retake the mound for the Gophers. The stud freshman. He's got an ERA of 3.07 on the season. As Michigan was able to score, though, on the sac bunt from Garcia. So Michigan has scored in each of the opening 6 innings of this ball game, looking to make it 7.
I like that.
A lot of consistency. It's been the name of the game for Michigan.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I was at I believe the only Tigers game where the Tigers scored in all. It was only 8 innings because they were at home.
And there's only one in history where they scored in every inning. Probably there can't be that many.
It can't be that many, but whatever the last game was for the Detroit Tigers, I was at. So don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
don't want to continue the jinxing.
It's fun to see a lot of offense for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there. It was the first. It barely happens, and it was the first time since 2006. It was the first time a team did it in about a decade when I went, but I'm not sure if it's happened since then.
Michigan doing so here this afternoon. So Steven Rustich will step in to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Takes a first pitch away for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. One is swung on and grounded to short. Spanier on the play, firing it over to first. Great pick there by Bork, the first baseman, to retire Rustich. Really good play there at shortstop by Spanier. Then Kyle Bork, the first baseman, able to scoop that one off of the ground for the first out of the inning. So we will have a pinch hitter here for Michigan. It'll be Bradley Navarro, the freshman outfielder who switch hits, and he will bat lefty against the right-handed Tyler Hemish.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, we've jinxed it, so they're not going to score this inning. We'd hope so, obviously. But in the MLB, it's only happened 5 times.
Wow.
In the last 35 years.
First pitch to Navarro is in for a strike. Navarro, the freshman, has appeared in he's appeared at the plate 47 times, 47 at-bats. He's got 9 hits to his name. It's good for a 191 average. The 0-1 is low for a ball. Has walked 11 times and struck out 11 times. I'd be curious to see what kind of changes Michigan makes in the batting order with this lead. They're up 8-1. The 1-1 is inside for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Next pitch is grounded. Tapper to the pitcher, Hemish, who will make the play at first. So 2 up, 2 down for Michigan in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And we sincerely apologize. These hits should not go against the batter's averages. This is our fault.
Are we jinxing? Is that the logic?
We are.
We are jinxing.
We're jinxing big time.
So 2 outs for Dylan Stanton, who will step in, the 5-hitter. Homered back in the 5th. It's Michigan's 3rd home run of the afternoon. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. So Stanton stays in there. Navarro pinch hit for Colin Priest. Colin Priest did not play in the field. He was a designated hitter. So we'll see if Michigan makes changes defensively. I don't think they will if it's just Navarro, but we'll see if there are any changes made in the field, and we will report those to you. for the top of the 8th inning. In the meantime, 2-0 count to Dylan Stanton. Here comes the pitch from Hemish. That one is grounded to shortstop. Spanier corrals it, throws it over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. In the first inning of this game, in which Michigan does not score. So the score remains at 8-1. Michigan up by 7, heading into the top of the 8th inning.
It was bound to happen. I mean, the odds of a team scoring in every inning, as we said,
pretty
before,
low.
Very rare.
Yep.
You know, especially if you're a college team. You know, it's not Michigan playing, for example, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, right? Even though they only scored 3 runs there, they're playing a quality Big Ten opponent. So it's very hard. It's very hard to accomplish. Is Kurt Barr? Is this Kurt Barr?
Barr Wolverman on the mound.
I think so.
There's that number 6. So Barr goes back to work for Michigan. In the top of the 8th.
I like this call. Leave him out there. Save the bullpen arms. You're only gonna, even if you're up 7 and it's the 9th inning, you can just throw one of your lesser relievers out there and hopefully
we all know what happened against Western. JQ was not very happy.
7 or less runs.
Okay, so 8-1 Michigan.
What if they throw the same guy out there?
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
We'll get to that when we get to that. Hopefully we won't have to.
Maybe.
8-1. I think Barr is looking good. He's got 83 pitches so far. Pitch count is moderate. In will step Kyle Bork, the first baseman. Try to get some sort of a rally going here for Minnesota. Only run is from a Brady Council home run back in the 6th. Infield straight up. First pitch to Bork is swung on and skied to right field. Voigt coming in on it. It'll be the second baseman, actually, Timbrook, who will make the play. Defense is the same for Michigan, so no changes there as Bork flies out to the second baseman, Timbrook, for the first out of the 8th inning. So we've got a pinch hitter now for Minnesota. It'll be Charlie Sutherland, the freshman infielder, who will bat lefty.
And I like this switch for Minnesota. You're taking out one of your lesser batters, putting in a freshman batting over 300.
So Sutherland, 26 at-bats, 8 hits to his name. First pitch to him is low and away for a ball.
But look at this. This is interesting. 26 at-bats, 8 hits, and 11 strikeouts, 5 walks. So basically every at-bat,
he hasn't grounded out or flown out.
He's either out of 26 at-bats, he's either gotten on base or struck out 24. Excuse me. Yeah, 24 out of the 26 at-bats, which is a crazy stat.
We'll see what happens here. That's a solid sample size, too.
Yeah, very interesting. Obviously, he's going to pop out here.
We'll see if our jinxing powers
we will take
come
that
once again. So the 2-1 to Sutherland. He's inside. Count moves to 3-1. Sutherland, a freshman, another freshman on this Minnesota team. The current pitcher, Tyler Hemish, is also a freshman with good statistics. So, like Michigan, Minnesota's got a lot of good young pieces in their program. The 3-1 catches the inside edge for a strike,
right.
So count is now full.
Now, will he strike out or walk? This is the question.
Jake on his feet for this one. Barr from the windup. Here comes the 3-2. Got him looking on strikes, falling right into the statistical season that we've had.
25 out of 27.
There you go. So 12th strikeout of the season for Sutherland.
That's a crazy stat.
So Jake Larson will step in. Another pinch hitter for Minnesota. The righty junior infielder who
he's not having a good season. Batting 148.
I've got 210 on mine.
Oh, it updated.
There you go. That might have been. So that was the guy that was initially.
Oh, pinch hitter. Yes.
Yeah. First pitch to Larson misses just outside for a ball.
Still not having that good of a season. Batting .210.
The 1-0 is in for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. The top of the 8th inning. Kurt Barr has been stellar on the mound for the Wolverines. The 1-1 is swung on and grounded to short. Dernetti gets it off a bounce, flips it over to first. Stanton came off the bag but made the tag. Good heads-up play there from Dylan Stanton for the 3rd out of the inning, and Kurt Barr is absolutely rolling here in this ball game. Has only given up 5 hits, 1 earned run on the home run back in the 6th. But it's very likely that Barr goes the distance here as we move to the bottom of the 8th at Ray Fisher Stadium. This one going by quickly, folks. Michigan 8, Minnesota 1. Due up for the Wolverines. We'll see if they pinch hit, but as of now, it's Cole Caruso, Will Rogers, and Matt Timbrook. Timbrook 3 of 3 this afternoon, the 8-hitter. Michigan has got 6 hits to their name, 3 of which have been home runs. Garcia, Voit, and Stanton have all gone yard. Michigan softball also underway.
Forget about Michigan softball. Stay tuned in.
They're fun, man. They're really fun.
Don't listen to softball. Stay tuned here. Michigan versus Minnesota baseball.
You should absolutely put both on if you like. But softball's a lot of fun. When we don't have a baseball broadcast, you can go listen to softball. We've got a great team this year, over 500.
Let's not lose our few listeners here to softball.
8-1 over here. Michigan up by 7. We've also got a new pitcher, I believe. Actually, never mind. Hemish will stay on the mound.
All right, last complete game for Michigan, March 1st. Mitch Voit, the star hitter.
Who's that guy? Familiar name, right?
Very familiar.
So Cole Caruso will step in for Michigan. He's 0 of 2 today. Walked in the 2nd. Flew into a double play in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th. So Caruso looking to get going here. 241 slashing on the season. First pitch is outside for a ball, low and away, 1-0.
Now the last complete game shutout was June 17th, 2019.
The 1-0 misses in the same spot, so count moves to 2-0 for Cole Caruso. Hemish toes the first base side of the rubber. Comes from the windup. The 2-0. One is swung on and fouled back. Count moves to 2-1. Will Rogers is on deck, so it doesn't look like anyone will be pinch hitting for him. Timbrook due up after Rogers. He's also suited up in his helmet and batting gloves. As Caruso rips a single to left center field for his first hit of the afternoon. Cole Caruso gets on for the Wolverines.
All right, what do you say?
And now Will Rogers.
Let's get a mercy here. The 3 runs.
3 runs for a mercy.
I
The
believe
10-run rule through 8 innings. So Michigan gets a runner on. I guess we'll call it winning run in the hole, or winning run on deck, rather, to make it a 10-run difference. Will Rogers will step in. He is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He did walk in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, flew out in the 6th. First pitch is inside for a ball. So Michigan has been pretty productive at the plate. They've got 7 hits as well as 4 walks to their name. 3 home runs for Michigan. The 1-0 to Rogers. That one is swung on and skied to right field. It's going to get out of here foul. Back to the Minnesota bullpen, where there is no activity. So it's looking like Tyler Hemish will probably finish this game for the Golden Gophers. Remember,
throwing in the towel.
Well, this is the first of a doubleheader between Michigan and Minnesota due to yesterday's game being rained out. So Caruso on first. Rogers digging in. Hemish will check Caruso. It looked like that ball might have hit him, and I think it did. So Caruso gingerly gets up.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? It's a doubleheader here. Doubleheader, I believe, for softball, right? Because their game was rained out as well.
Their game got rained out too.
I was supposed to call the softball, so it's interesting that they reassigned me to the baseball. So I don't know what's going on with the with WCBN here.
I had to shuffle around the crews a bit.
We appreciate everyone tuning in.
Absolutely. So the 2-1 to Will Rogers was swung on and missed. Count evens at 2-2. Again, Caruso at first. Timbrook on deck. He is the mercy rule run, we'll call it. 10 runs after the 8th is the rule. As
all right,
Rogers fouls that one back.
Let's get Rogers on base first before we start with that.
I was pointing it out, letting the viewers know.
It's a very consistent game for Michigan though, because they've scored in 6 innings, but no more than 2 runs. So
the 2-2 to Rogers. Hemish from the stretch. One is swung on and bloop single to right field, gets down.
No.
Caruso, and they'll call it foul.
Come on, ump.
Interesting call there.
I think that was definitely fair.
Doesn't seem to be much of a protest from the Michigan dugout.
I mean, you don't want to be too much of a prick when you're up 8-1, but I think they might have clipped the line. I do.
So 2-2 to Will Rogers. Swing and a miss. So Rogers goes down on strikes. Timbrook will step up for Michigan. Caruso at first. So Timbrook, the lefty, will step in. 3 of 3 today. First pitch to Timbrook is swung on and missed. He's got 3 singles to his name. Average is up to 298 for the senior second baseman. The 0-1 just misses outside. Count moves to 1-1. The 1-1 from Hamish misses inside, so count moves to 2-1 for Mac Timbrook. Dernetti waiting on deck. Timbrook responsible for 3 of Michigan's 7 hits this afternoon. The 2-1 to Timbrook catches the outside edge for a strike. Count evens at 2-2. This crowd is really filling in here at Ray Fisher. It's good to see.
You got to think a lot of people are just going to stay for game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2-2 swung on and missed.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised because I thought, I mean, obviously it's a Saturday, so nothing better to do than be out at the park. But, man, Tuesday it's a lesser team, but 70, 75 and sunny.
Saw some Minnesota fans also tailgating back over where I parked. Good to see people getting outside as the weather warms up a bit here in the Midwest.
Yeah, tomorrow, man.
What's the forecast for tomorrow? Is it good?
Very good.
Nice. Beautiful. So Kyle Dernetti will step in. Took the first pitch for a ball.
73 and sunny.
Boom. Love to hear that. Second pitch is in for a strike. Count evens at 1-1 for Kyle Dernetti. Dernetti hit a sac fly back in the second, struck out in the fourth, and drew a base on balls in the sixth. 1-1 is skied in the air, high but short. Third baseman Perry will make the play in foul territory for the third out of the inning. So Michigan does not get the mercy rule. Instead, they will have to play the top of the ninth. So 8-1 Michigan after 8.
And they're going to the bullpen. It will not be a complete game.
I think they're not going to the bullpen. There's Kurt Barr right there.
All right,
He's coming out for the top of the ninth.
Maybe the starter for next game was warming up in the bullpen then. So there's some action in there.
So top of the ninth for Michigan. 8-1 Wolverines. Kurt Barr, the starter, barring a Minnesota comeback, will have gone the distance here in what's been a fantastic outing. 1 earned run on 5 hits. Has only walked 1 batter, struck out 4. Has thrown 93 pitches. Came into this game with a 3.51 ERA. That is down to 3.12.
All right. And it's super interesting because nowadays, you'll never see an MLB pitcher cross 100. You know, sans a no-hitter going or something special. So these college coaches just don't care. It's just MLB, they want to save the arm for decade to come, and these college coaches, he might reach like 110 pitches here, which
I think part of this reasoning is it is a doubleheader.
Well, obviously they take him out, but I'm saying even in the MLB doubleheader, Tigers playing one right now against the Twins. Even if their starters dealing, nowadays they don't get past 7 innings.
First pitch misses for a ball to Brady Council. Second pitch is in for a strike, so 1-1 count. Council is responsible for the only Golden Gopher run this afternoon. He homered back in the 6th. The 1-1, that one is hit back up the middle. Nice play there by Barr to stick out the glove and make the play, though. Flips it over to Stanton at first for the first out of the inning. Really nice play there by Kurt Barr. As Jake Perry will step in, the junior third baseman.
It's a very enjoyable game here. A little over 2 hours. Probably is going to be 2:15 by the time it ends.
Going by quickly.
Nice, comfortable lead.
First pitch to Perry is high for a ball.
Now here's the question. Since we did win, is this going to be your last game?
That's a great question. I hope not. I hope I can step in again.
You'll definitely get a chance.
I wasn't originally scheduled for this game, but due to some shuffling because of the rain delays, I was like, why not? I had a great time calling the Western game with you, and
yes,
happy to get back out here. Next pitch is rifled up the middle, right between the legs, though, of shortstop Kyle Dernetti. So,
come on.
An error most likely there for Michigan. As Perry gets on.
Yeah, it was an error.
Ball went right under the glove and in between the legs of Kyle Dernetti at short. He was playing in the right position. The ball got hit up the middle, and on the shift, Dernetti was there, but just unable to field the ball.
And he was shocked, too. He went through his legs, and he just looked around. He's like, did that just happen?
So Weber Niels will step in, and he takes a strike on the outer edge for the first pitch of the at-bat is 0-1. The 0-1 to Niels. One is swung on and grounded to short. Dernetti flips to Timbrook, flipping to first to Stanton for the final out of the game. Michigan ends it on a double play, so who cares about that error? As Michigan, because we just had an awkward handshake. Let's do that. There you go.
It's more of a high five, but now we get the handshake.
As Michigan doesn't need a bottom of the ninth to win this one. They win it 8-1 in the first of a doubleheader over Minnesota. Kurt Barr went the distance. Final stats for him. 8 innings pitched, gave up 5 runs. 9 innings pitched, excuse me. Gave up 5 runs. Only run was an earned run. Only walked 1 batter, struck out 4. In the final pitch count at 99 for Kurt Barr.
It's ideal.
ERA is down to 3.06 for Michigan hitters. They scored 8 runs, in large part due to the 3 home runs by Garcia, by Voigt, and by Dylan Stanton.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything better.
You cannot.
Complete game, 1 run allowed. Nice 8-1 comfortable win for the Wolverines. Just a solid day at the ballpark. Be sure to tune in for Game 2. We got former president Kellen Flynn on play-by-play.
In the polo, looking good.
Right
also,
here,
Mr.
nice
Jordan,
and early.
How you doing, man? We're going to switch it over to them in a couple minutes here. We're going to have to reconfigure some wires. But thanks for tuning in. 8-1 is your final score from Ray Fisher Stadium. I'm Owen Klein alongside the legendary Jake Handler, sir. As Michigan will look to make it 2 straight. Tune in to Kellen and Jordan's call as they'll face Minnesota in about, let's say, 10 to 20 minutes. So stay tuned. Also got softball going on across the way at Carroll Hutchins Stadium. It's a great busy day here at the baseball complex in Ann Arbor. So we're going to sign off for a little bit, but be sure to come right back for the coverage of Game 2 with WCBN-Sports. Take it easy, folks.